Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am actually going to go through some of my self-publishing journey with you guys. And I know this channel is mostly soap making with a little bit of book stuff in there sprinkled in, but I'd like to kind of make this channel a hybrid. So if you're not interested in the book stuff, that's fine. I still post soap making videos every other week. And then I am hoping to post book related stuff on the weeks that I'm not posting soap making stuff. If I get to a point where I am feeling really energetic, maybe I'll post twice a week. So we'll see. But anyway, so part one of my self-publishing journey, I did want to talk about that a little bit. I do have some notes here so I don't get off track, which I'm so often doing. So anyway, I just wanted to start off by saying that the reason that I started a self-publishing journey here is last year in the summertime, and I may have talked about this in another video. Like I said, I ramble, so I don't really remember. But last summer, I got laid off from my position. It was kind of a crummy situation. I went on vacation with my family to celebrate my parents' 50th anniversary, and what was supposed to be a happy, joyous occasion ended up being terrible when I came back and got the phone call basically saying, don't come back. So that sucks. That company was bought out, and they decided to lay off a bunch of people. Anyway, so when that happened, it was like a slap across the face because I didn't have a backup plan. I was not looking for another job. I was happy where I was at. I liked my boss and, the work that I did and everything. And so when I got let go from that, it felt terrible, particularly, and this is a side note, and maybe I'll make another video about this, like a drama video or whatever, but there was a specific person that I worked with that was sexually harassing me pretty bad. And he's still there and still thriving. So yay for whatever. But anyway, so because I got laid off, I started thinking very strongly because at this point I was very unsatisfied with everything, and I knew that I liked certain things. So I did like soap making, and I liked, science and writing, and there were a lot of creative things that I was into. I did art for a while. You'll see on some previous videos that I did some art videos and commentary and stuff like that. And I started to really brainstorm. Well, first I took a couple weeks to just do nothing. Like I literally just read a bunch of books outside on my deck and didn't even do it. I spent like the first hour of my day going through and applying for jobs, and then spent the rest of the day kind of sulking, to be honest. So during that time when I was out there reading, I kind of had an epiphany of sorts. I was like, well, there was that book that I started writing back in 2021 for National Novel Writers Month, and I had never been able to get it out of my head because I just felt like it was a really unique story. And so I said, maybe I should just try to publish it. And at this time, I didn't know anything about self-publishing. I didn't even know it was a thing. I thought I'd have to go and try to find an agent and try to find a, traditional publisher and all this stuff. So I was really kind of like, well, diving in basically with no knowledge on any of this stuff. So I finished the book, and I was reading, I read a lot of stuff, and I watched a lot of videos on the fact that you need an editor, which, again, that's another thing I had no idea about. I just thought you wrote a book and then you tried to pitch it to, an agent. But there's a lot of value in getting an editor. So when I was researching that sort of thing, I went down this huge rabbit hole of self-publishing. So I was like, that's interesting, maybe I should look into self-publishing, and here we are today. So anyway, the first steps that I did was I definitely did a lot of research. I have my notes here. Let me go back on this. So the first thing I did was research, and that was, the scientist in me. I wanted to make sure I did all this right, and that I did, my writing justice, and that I could, ultimately make a name for myself. So there were several channels that I can accredit, and I will actually link them in the description because I feel like they're full of very fantastic advice. I would say, just off the top of my head, I would say like Abby Emmons and Mandy Lynn and Bethany. I don't know how to say her last name, but I'll link her in the description below. But they don't write in my genre, but their advice is still very good. So I kind of accredit them to a lot of the stuff that I learned about self-publishing and how to get out there and like market myself and stuff. So anyway, that was the first step. The second step that I took, and as far as research is concerned, let me go back to that. I also was looking at a lot of books. So there were I had Kindle Unlimited, so I started getting a lot of these, there were some nonfiction books that I got into, such as like Save the Cat Writes a Novel, which is also a very good one. And I'll also link her channel because she's got a lot of good stuff on hers too. So there's that. And then some other things like how to market your book and all that other stuff. So that was all part of the research aspect of it. Now keep in mind, I work really fast. I do not sit still. And so when I'm doing all this research, my manuscript is sitting with my editor. So my editor is, she took about, I want to say 3 weeks to go through the manuscript. And in that 3-week period, I did all this research and then I ended up starting a company. So that is step number 2, is deciding whether or not to create an LLC. So while I was doing my research, one of the things that is very important for a novel is an ISBN. Now, if you're self-publishing, you can just go to KDP and get their free ISBN and do that. However, if you do that, you cannot sell your book anywhere else. It has to be under Amazon. So my thought was, do I want to invest in an ISBN package so that I don't have to do that? Well, that was a domino effect, because if I decided to invest in the package, then I wanted it under the umbrella of my LLC. And at the time I hadn't started it yet. So it was a debate whether or not I wanted to start the LLC. So I ultimately decided to do it. And I created Cliff Cave Books and I ended up buying the 100 pack of ISBNs. And I'll tell you why. I bought the 100 pack and it's all under the umbrella of Cliff Cave Books. Now this was an investment, and keep in mind, I had no job at the time. So it was, a lot of these actions that I'm taking are risks. But I feel like eventually they will pay off in the long run. But I did end up buying the 100 pack of ISBNs because buying one ISBN is $125. That's insane. Buying 10 is around $300. I think it's like $295, I think is what it is. And so that brings the price down to $29.50 per ISBN. If you buy the 100 pack, it's $575, which sounds like a lot, but if you think about it, that's $5.75 per ISBN. So you go from $125 per ISBN to $5.75. That is insane to me. It's really taking advantage, and unfortunately in the US we do have to pay for the ISBNs, unless you go the free route. But if you want to, widely distribute, you have to pay for them. I think it's really taking advantage of people in that way, but it's an unfortunate evil. But really, if you are wanting to publish a paperback, a hardback, an ebook, well, you don't necessarily need an ISBN for an ebook, but for all these things, you need an ISBN. If you do another edition, you're going to need another ISBN. I accidentally did a couple different sizes on my first book. I needed a new ISBN for all of them. So it did work out for me in the long run. And I think as of now, I've only used maybe 15 ISBNs of that 100 pack. And I have, I have several versions of 2 books out right now. Anyway, so with that being said, I ended up buying the pack so that it could be under the umbrella of my LLC. Now the LLC comes with its own mess of things, and it really depends on what state you live in. So I live in Missouri, and Missouri, the LLC only costs $50 a year, which to me is very affordable. But it does, you do have to file specific things that go along with that. In addition, it is very important, if you do create that, and if you do start the self-publishing journey, you do actually work for yourself, regardless of whether or not you have the LLC. So it is very important to separate your finances as well. So I created a business bank account that is completely separate from my personal account. And every bit of royalties I get, and I'm hoping to get to a point where everything I spend comes from that account only when it comes to the business. Right now, I can't spend a ton from there because I'm not making enough to do that. So I'm still investing in my business. So anyway, after the LLC, so, okay, I gotta stick to my notes. after doing that, then I had to figure out how to build my audience. And that is, I think, true. I mean, that's true for everybody. And there's a lot of different bits of advice out there. I had this YouTube channel. So I hadn't posted on it in a long time because I was in pharmacy school, and you know the whole drama with that. Yeah, I had this YouTube channel. So I had an audience, but the audience was used to the soap making. So it is kind of interesting me trying to wedge this bit of content into this channel. But yeah, so I'm doing it. So I have this YouTube channel. I started a newsletter. I actually have 2 newsletters, one for my books and one for my soaps. So if you're interested in either one of those or both, you can sign up in the description box. That is slowly growing. I started off with 0 subscribers for the first 2 months, and that's fine. But there's different like newsletter swaps you can do. I was offering Metaxysm for free if you signed up for it. If you are interested in that, please let me know. But anyway, so there's that. And then there's social media. I had gotten rid of my personal Facebook account a while ago, but I started it back up because it's something that I know. I know Facebook. I had signed up for it back when it first was incepted, when you had to have a college email address, a .edu, to be able to sign up for it. So I know it very well. And I thought it would be a good platform to start growing that. Well, unfortunately, it's, like I said, I got rid of my personal one, and now I have started the Ari Holding one. And right now I don't have a ton of people on there, which is fine. I'm still growing it. I'm joining groups and trying to get advice in there and stuff. But I would say Facebook is probably my least used social media. I do have Instagram. I do post on there every once in a while. I started a TikTok. I don't know if it's going to stay because I'm not as familiar with that. And also keep in mind that the more stuff that you pile on, that's more time out of your schedule taken away from actually writing the thing. So my second step, I guess, with the whole social media thing, is just trying to decide what platforms work best for me. I think right now YouTube is kind of my thing because I've been doing it for a while. My newsletter for sure, and then maybe my social media like Facebook and Instagram, but I don't pay as much attention to those as I do like YouTube and whatever. And then marketing. So marketing is something that I know very little about. I mean, I've learned some tidbits here and there, but I just don't have a mind for marketing. Unfortunately, for self-publishing, you have to know how to market. And I'm learning, and you have to be willing to learn. Because if you're not willing to learn that, you're not going to sell anything. Because it's not a matter of just putting your stuff out there and then, people are just going to find it, because people don't know how to find you. You have to use that marketing tool to show people where to find you. And this is a big, big world, and everybody is online. And so it's just, it is very important. And again, I don't know everything about it, so I can't train you or I can't give you tutorials on that. But I would invite you to be on this journey with me. And if you have any tips or tricks for me, I would definitely love to hear them in the comments. Or, you can message me or whatever. But yeah, this is definitely a journey for me. And so the last thing that I have, this is all just for part 1. So keep that in mind. But this is the last thing I would say, is just write the thing. So if you're focusing too much on all this other stuff, you're not writing. And I've kind of made that mistake a little bit. It is hard to set up everything in the beginning, and I get that. And it does take time and effort and learning capacity. And I'm telling you, learning is exhausting. It is definitely, there were periods of time where like I would be reading something and not understand a word I just read, because my mind is just too bogged down with everything. So it's important to take that time away and just write the thing. So I wrote Metaxysm. It was published in December. Here it is here, just in case you forgot. Yeah, so I wrote that. It's published. And now I had a deadline for myself at the end of January to have a novella published, but that didn't happen. However, I'm only 2 months behind because now officially Hillbilly Vamp is up for pre-order on Kindle, on Barnes and Noble, and I have it up on Ingram Spark and Draft to Digital. So all the distributors that they have, it's all up for pre-order. So the Kindle book is very cheap. I only priced it at $1.99. The whole thing in total is 94 pages, but that also includes a bonus short story. So I'm including, just like I did with Metaxysm, there's a bonus short story at the very end. It's only like 3 pages long, so it's not, hard, like taking up a bunch of the page count. But yeah, so anyway, just so you see it again, this is my proof copy of Hillbilly Vamp. I've already, I've taken notes and stuff, but I have my polished draft in the platforms now for pre-order. So this comes out at the end of this month. So if you pre-order it, you'll automatically be pushed or shipped the physical copy. If you ordered the physical copy, pushed the Kindle version if you ordered the Kindle. So again, Kindle is $1.99, paperback is $7.99. I wanted to keep it relatively inexpensive because I want people to be able to have access to it, because I know in this day and age with inflation and everything going buck wild, I want people to be able to read a good story and have a good laugh. So this story is funny. It is still a horror, so there is some gory elements to it, but for the most part, I don't know. My editor thought it was hilarious. I think because she also kind of grew up with some hillbilly family, so she thought it was pretty funny. But anyway, so point being, this is not like supposed to be a shameless plug, but it's just write the thing. So I was so wrapped up in everything else that I wasn't writing Hillbilly Vamp, even though like it was really nagging my brain to write it. And so I finally finished it, and I'm excited for that. Now I'm writing my fantasy novel. So I have a deadline on that, and we'll see if I make it. But yeah, so anyway, a trailer for that should be coming out soon. Some of you may have already seen it because I did unlock it for some people. Like if you sign up for my newsletter, you will be able to see it in the April release of the newsletter. So I only send out my newsletter once a month. I don't want to bother people with tons of emails. So each newsletter is packed full of all kinds of fun updates and stuff like that. And the one in April 5th is going to have the link to the trailer. So keep an eye out for that if you sign up for the newsletter. I hope you like it. That was another thing that took time out of my schedule, truth be told. So it's a marketing tactic. I don't know if it's like the best marketing tactic, but I had a lot of fun making it. So plus it really helped me, as far as like the story is concerned as well. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with that, but this is just part 1 of my self-publishing journey. This is where I am now. I started my LLC in October, and we are in March right now. I am ready to publish my second book. I do have a low-content journal on my author page as well. It's the Magic Maker Journal, which I talked about in another video. So technically I've published 3 books, but I don't really count the low content because those are, exactly that. They're low content. They didn't require me to sit down, write, edit, send it to an editor, do all that stuff. So anyway, but that's that. So yeah, I would love to hear your comments. If you have any tips for me, or if you want to join me on this journey, sign up for my newsletter. Yeah, I would love to hear from you. But that's it for today. Sorry if there's a bunch of noise outside. They're doing some work next door. I'll try to edit out as much as I can. But anyway, I will see you in the next one.